Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter, and today we're going to be talking about preparing for Iceborne. And some of you guys might be wondering, do I need to prepare for Iceborne? What do I got to do? What's the deal with that? Can I just start when Iceborne actually comes out and join my friends that maybe have been playing since the game came out, and, you know, they're just waiting for the expansion? And there might be a little bit of confusion there, so let me try to make things a little bit more clear for you. In order for you to access the Iceborne content, as in hunt Iceborne monsters in the Iceborne map, you are going to have to go through the original Monster Hunter World storyline. You're going to have to reach the hunter rank of 16, by which time you will have killed the final story monster in the game. You don't have to do all of the grind that everyone in the community has been doing to really optimize their gear set to the maximum possible and for God knows how many different builds and kill all these Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons and do all of these crazy events and all that stuff. You only have to do as much of that as you want, but you need to, at the very least, finish the story in order to have access to the Iceborne content. See, when Iceborne comes out, if you purchase Iceborne, you will have access to, like, some of the new features, like the new move sets and stuff for the weapons, as well as the Clutch Claw and all of the other combat features. If you own Iceborne, you'll be able to use those in the base game. But in order to access Hoarfrost Reach and fight the new monsters and all that stuff, you will need to have played through the story. You will need to have reached Hunter rank 16, by which point you will have killed the last boss in the game. So that is your requirement number one, and potentially the most important requirement of all. Because again, if you're just someone who's trying to catch up to your friends, if you're just trying to play with them once the expansion comes out, first thing you want to do, get that story mode out of your way, progress through it as fast as you possibly can, you know, while still enjoying yourself, because you still have some time until the game comes out. Should have enough time to go through the game at least once without much problems, in my opinion. But, you know, and pretty much everything else that I will tell you after this is kind of optional, but it will make your experience somewhat easier, because basically just finishing the game is going to be the bare minimum requirement to head into Hoarfrost Reach. But if we take into account how previous G ranks have worked in Monster Hunter, then that's only really the first step. And particularly if you are a solo player, you will definitely want to take a couple of more steps towards making yourself a little bit tougher. So step number two, remember step number one, reach Hunter rank 16, finish the story. Step number two, augment your weapon. That means get your weapon as upgraded as you possibly can, and then on top of it, slap an enchantment on top of it. Now, this is going to vary depending on your playstyle, depending on the weapons that you play, and all of that stuff. So for starters, if you are someone who is going to be playing with one of the guns, either the bow gun, the heavy bow gun, the light bow gun, or even the bow, then you might want to look into those specific guides in YouTube, because I'm not a master of bows and bow guns and all of this other stuff. I rarely ever play those weapons. I would assume that depending on the weapon, you're either going to want to augment for attack or for, what's the other one? Attack or affinity. Those are probably the two augments that you will want to get depending on the weapon that you are augmenting them on. Also, in terms of armors and stuff, you'll probably want to get a 3-piece Synergiva set, I think, for most of the guns at least. But, you know, for those, you probably want to look elsewhere for your specific guide for your specific weapon to learn how to actually play it. On the other hand, if you are a Blade Master, most likely the augment that you are looking at is health regen. And I know that for some min-max builds and stuff like that, you might want to look at attack or affinity as well. But for overall purpose, if you're someone that's actually watching this video because you're wondering what you should be doing to prepare for Iceborne and you're just like not entirely sure, most likely you want to go for the augment of health regen, okay? So basically upgrade your weapon to the very last thing in the tree, and then go up to the blacksmith and try to, you know, put an augment on it and try to see what materials you need in order to get yourself a health regen. That's usually one of the best things to get for a Blade Master, to keep you in the fight longer, to prevent you from having to like, oh, I need to back off for healing, stuff like that. It's just generally, it's one of the best enchantments to get in your weapon for general play. Considering the amount of materials that it takes for you to actually fully upgrade a weapon and then augment it and do all of that stuff, you might be wondering exactly which weapon you should be going for, depending on the weapon type that you happen to be using. My advice when it comes to that is just like, look, you can go over my past videos and look for builds, and each of my builds usually has a weapon that I select for that specific weapon type. those are usually a good weapon to go for. Like, for instance, to give you guys a couple of ideas when it comes to the charge blade, if you were just like starting out now and you wanted to pick one to go for, I would tell you go for the Diablo's charge blade, because it's one of the best weapons in the game right now. Unfortunately, it is also a somewhat basic weapon, but it's very reliable. And it's just a weapon that is going to carry you throughout Monster Hunter World and probably well into the first steps in Iceborne. When it comes to Sword and Shield, I would go for one of the Lunastra variants, either the Xeno'jiiva, depending on whether or not you have Master's Touch in your armor. So if you don't have Master's Touch, probably go for Lunastra Xeno'jiiva variant, or if you do have Master's Touch, you might want to go for Nergigante's Lunastra Nergigante's variant, because that also gives you haste and recovery, and it's a pretty good weapon all around. When it comes to gun lances, I mean, when it comes to crafting, you probably just want to go for Royal Burst and use the Slam Burst playstyle, because most of the other really good gun lances come from Kulve Taroth, and that is going to be very RNG, and there's no way for me to like write a guide to guarantee that you can get the weapon that you want out of Kulve Taroth, which is one of the reasons Kulve Taroth is so friggin' frustrating. But either way, just select the weapon that you really like, fully upgraded, augmented it, and then you should be ready to head into Iceborne with that specific weapon. And then eventually, as you go through the ranks of Iceborne, you will eventually be crafting more powerful weapons, and you'll be able to replace it. But having that powerful weapon at the start is going to make your earlier hunts a little bit easier, and it is one of the most important points in my opinion. Moving right along, the next would be to augment and fully upgrade your armor set. So you need to select yourself like a set of armor that you really want to use, that you really like, and that particular set of armor, you should take that into the blacksmith and fully upgrade it. And remember something, after you fully upgrade an armor set, you're still able to augment that armor set, which will then unlock another round of upgrades for that armor set, and you can then fully upgrade it even further to just like get maximum armor value out of your armor set. You really want this, because considering the previous leaps from high rank into G rank, the monsters are going to be hitting considerably harder. As such, you'll want to have as much defense as possible so that you're not going to get one shot or two shot by the monsters in Iceborne. So fully upgrading your armor set should be your next priority after fully upgrading your weapon. At least that's the way that I would personally look at it. If you are undecisive about which set you should take, again, go through the channel, just look for specific weapon types, like maybe you like Sword and Shield, just go to my channel and there's like a search option, and just type in Sword and Shield and you'll see all of the builds that I've done for Sword and Shield, and you should get an idea of a good armor type for your weapon of choice. Same thing for Gunland, same thing for Charge Blade, same thing for pretty much every other weapon, even though some of my builds are a little bit out of date by now, because, there's a lot of new armors that have come out, there's a lot of new events that have come out, but importantly, upgrade your armor. After you upgrade it, augment it, and after you augment it, upgrade it again. And you might be wondering, well, but I'm kind of low on armor spheres, so is that really a priority? Well, this is the best time to get armor spheres, because you have all of the events active in the game right now, and you can basically get yourself ridiculous amounts of armor spheres by just doing your daily quests. Like, they give you daily bounties for each of the events, and you just log in every day, do your daily bounties, which should be like 2 or 3 hunts tops. It's never more than 3 hunts to get all of your daily quests done if you play your cards right, and you will get a lot of armor spheres for completing those quests. Also, make sure to always collect your login bonuses whenever you log in the first time of the day, so that sometimes you can also get armor spheres from those. Particularly if you haven't logged in for the past month or so, this is a good time to log in, because they're going to give you 1 free attack decoration until the 29th of August, I believe. So long as you log in between now and the end of the month, they should also give you a free attack decoration, which is pretty damn important. Now, another very important thing, depending on how much you have played the game, is going to be getting your hunting tools. I'm talking about the mantles, I'm talking about the health booster, I'm talking about all of those things. Now, a lot of these will come just from completing the main quest line and reaching Hunter rank 16. Some of them, however, are going to require you to do some optional quests or some special turn-ins and all that stuff, and I'm not going to go into great detail for each of the mantles, but FX for Life, which is one of the best wikis for Monster Hunter World out there, has all of the details of all of the things that you need to do in order to get these mantles. I'm going to have a link in the description down below. Probably it's going to be the pinned comment, not the description. I'm going to put a link in the pinned comment in case you guys are wondering why. It's because YouTube, forget about it. Anyway, in the pinned comment, there will be a link to that and a couple of more things that I will be talking to you guys about. And in case you're missing a specific mantle, you should be able to check what quest you have to do in order to unlock that mantle. And I would consider it to be pretty important for you to get as many mantles as possible before you get to Iceborne, because I think that the upgraded mantles that you'll get in Iceborne will probably require you to have the base version. So, try to work on getting your mantles as much as possible. Anyways, beyond getting your mantles, we also have the Botanical Research Facility. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with this facility, or if you ignored it throughout the entirety of the game, you can get a lot of materials almost for free at the research facility by just telling them, hey, multiply these herbs for me, multiply these mushrooms for me, multiply these things for me. And they're constantly giving you more and more and more of these mushrooms and of the herbs and all that stuff, and they're basically the ingredients that you need to craft your potions, to craft your ammo, to craft all of your stuff. So it is important to have your botanical research upgraded. Now, one of the reasons why this is so low in my list of priorities, in my checklist, so to speak, for stuff to do in preparation for Iceborne, is because they're probably going to add something new on the new hub. So I don't know how that is going to impact the Botanical Research Facility, but at the same time, it would be pretty cool if you could go ahead and upgrade it, because most likely it's not going to be useless for you to take those steps. You'll still be able to farm stuff there. So I would advise you guys to get that done. Again, there's going to be a link to a Extra Life page that gives you all of the details for you to get all of the fertilizers, for you to unlock all of the boxes, pretty much all of the things that you should be doing in order to fully upgrade your research facility, because there's quite a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't be able to go through all of it in one video. I also have a video talking about upgrading the Botanical Research Facility. You can check that out as well. But if you want just like a quick text thing, then the website is going to be something that you might find a little bit easier. On top of that, another thing that you should consider upgrading, which is the next thing, is the canteen. Now, unlocking all of the foods for the canteen is a bit of a pain in the ass. I've done it myself, but there's quite a lot of stuff that involved in getting all of the ingredients necessary to unlock everything in the canteen. Again, I'm going to link that in the pinned comment. Another FX for Life link so that you can see like what quests you should be doing, all of that stuff. You're going to unlock a lot of stuff by just doing the main quest and reaching Hunter rank 16, but there is a lot of stuff that you will not unlock. However, it is also important to mention that the canteen is something that you can kind of leech from your friends. So basically, if you're planning on playing with a lot of friends that have previously played Monster Hunter World, basically, if you guys are in the same lobby and your friends have already unlocked the food, then it basically gets shared with you. So you have access to all the food that your friends have. So, again, if you're playing with veteran Monster Hunter World players, this might not be one of the big priority items for you. So you might want to focus on something else. Now, maybe you're thinking about doing a build for yourself. Maybe you've been watching some of the builds that I've done in the channel, and you're wondering, okay, so I need these decorations. How do I get these decorations? For starters, all decorations are random. I know, it's a pain in the ass. Sometimes you can go thousands of hours without getting the decorations you need. We've all heard the horror stories. There is this thing that we all like to call the desire sensor, which basically the game detects what you want and it doesn't give it to you. But anyway, if you are trying to get more decorations, there's actually a good event for you to do, which is the name's Lavazioth, which I believe is going to be the event that will be active when this video goes live. If you can't find that event, it's an event just called The Name's Lavazioth. You fight a Lavazioth, he spews out decorations all over the place. If it's not that one, then it's going to be another one that is called The Greatest Jagras. Okay, these two events will give you tons of decorations, and they're probably your best shot at getting the decorations that you want. If you want to get your decorations through the Elder Melder, I also have a guide for that. I'm going to be linking that in the pinned comment, and you guys can check out what the deal is with both decorations, as well as how to deal with the Elder Melder, all of that stuff, so that you guys can really look that up and try to figure out the best way to do it. But do remember, getting decorations is going to be very much RNG, so do not count on, for instance, if one of your objectives was to get 7 attack decorations, good luck with that. Probably not going to happen, but you never know. Good luck with that. Try to go for something a little bit more realistic, like maybe 1 or 2 artillery gems. You might get that. I don't know. But anyway, if you need decorations, there's going to be a couple of events that you can do right now, and you might want to check those out. Finally, if you need streamstones, which is the materials that you require in order to upgrade your weapon, there's usually a couple of events that you can do. Pretty much any Arch-Tempered Elder Dragon is going to have the best chance at giving you streamstones. So basically pick the Arch-Tempered Elder Dragon that you have the easiest time killing. Again, I have guides for all the Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons, for all the Tempered Elder Dragon, all that stuff in the channel. You can check that out. But basically, yeah, if you're talking about streamstones, Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons are the best way to do it. If you are having too tough of a time with Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons, that you might want to look for an event called Relish the Moment, which is a Tempered Devil Joe, and that is a little bit easier than some of the Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons, but it's still going to be somewhat challenging, and that gives you an additional shot at getting more streamstones. Having said that, you can also just get streamstones from doing Tempered Investigations. I believe that Elder Dragon Tempered Investigations usually yield the best chance to get streamstones, but those are your chances. Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons, Tempered Elder Dragons, or Relish the Moment, which is Tempered Devil Joe. Those will be the way for you to get your streamstone. So very quick recap of stuff that you should consider doing in preparation for Iceborne. Reach Hunter Rank 16. Number 1. Your number 1 priority, because if you don't reach Hunter Rank 16, you won't even be able to begin the quest to go to Hoarfrost Reach. You won't even be able to actually access the content without finishing the game and reaching Hunter Rank 16. So that is your first priority. Second priority, fully augment your weapon so that you can deal as much damage as possible, because you're going to need it once you reach Master Rank, because they have said this is going to be just like G Rank, therefore expect a big bump in difficulty on the next set of monsters that are going to be appearing in the game. Augment and fully upgrade your armor set, because they're also going to deal more damage, and when they hit you, it's going to hurt, so make sure that it hurts as least as possible. Get your hunting tools. Check out the page that I linked for FX for Life. Make sure that you have all of the mantles so that you are ready and that you have a lot of tools at your disposal when you are fighting the different monsters. Upgrade your botanical research so that you can, farm for materials a little bit easier, and you get to do that while you are hunting, as opposed to having to specifically go out to pick up materials that you need. Upgrade your canteen, because it's probably going to be necessary. If you need decorations, go do the names Lavasioth or the Greatest Jagras, whichever one happens to be available at the time. If neither of them are available, then I guess you're stuck with investigations. And finally, if you need streamstones, Arch-Tempered Elder Dragons, or Relish the Moment event with Tempered Devil Joe. If this video helped you out in any way, hit the like button. It helps me out more than you can possibly imagine. If you didn't like the video, if you thought it didn't help you out at all, and if you just don't like my face, hit the dislike button, because feedback is also very important. If you like the videos that I do, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so that you're actually notified whenever the videos come out. I appreciate all of your comments and feedback in the comment section down below. Thank you all very much for watching. Remember, you should check out my Twitch stream as well, if you wouldn't mind, because I'm probably going to be doing my first Iceborne live streams over there. And that's pretty much it for this video. Stay strong, and may your shields never break.